Hello, my boils, my ghouls, and my zools. Welcome back to Kalashkamaz. So, did a match for the first time in a couple months today. Been very busy with the new gun industry job, so haven't been able to get out much. It's been since Lethal Weapons, so yeah, damn near a couple months here. So, went out and shot a Texas Kalashnikov today, and it didn't honestly go so well because I haven't been practicing and I haven't been shooting lately. So, I've just had my head down on a bench fixing guns. And basically, some definite revelations came after taking a little breather and being able to objectively look. And outside of just a couple things I need to train on shooting wise, it got me a little more thinking about gear wise too, because my performance today was dog shit, but it was partly honestly just not paying attention, not getting on sights as I should, not setting up my shots, I should say. And another part of it was gear. So, to start off with the first stage I did today, I know the rifle was zeroed because, I could see that during, our little wood shop that we have at Texas Kalashnikov. Basically, there's posts set up and the squads line up, and one at a time everybody takes a shot at it and tries to chop the thing down, and it's just a tradition every single Texas Kalashnikov. It just gives you a chance to warm up your rifle, make sure your optics on. It's a nice one. It's just a little fun thing. So I get to the first stage, and my raw time was blazing fast, but the thing was, using a Tantal today, shooting 5.45 with some shit ammo. So basically, I should have known with 5 MOA ammo that I could not be going as fast as I was. I also did make the mistake of sliding back my optics slider. I was shooting irons today, and I really shouldn't have, honestly. I thought the targets were close, so close that I should probably pull that back so I'm not shooting too high, because it is zeroed at the 100-yard spot on the leaf, but it's zeroed at 50. So I actually can go to the 200 with this ammo, and it's actually a little more accurate. And I went back to the 100 like a dumbass. So that was kind of okay, man, I need to get out shooting a little more. I need to know my rifle a little better. It's been a couple months, and, I'm a dum-dum that tends to forget things. So go on to the second stage, and it's a very complicated stage. It's a complete 180 trap. If you don't know what a 180 trap is, that's where targets are literally at the 180, and if you step a step over, you're DQ'd, disqualified. That might be for the stage, or it might be for the match, depending on the match. Now, I had to run back and forth between two platforms, and as I stepped off the first platform, I ate shit. My feet stepped into a pile of casings, and my feet just gave out. I went straight forward, and luckily I kept the rifle pointed down range, and then my other hand went into a pile of casings. So I cut myself up pretty good there, stung real bad, and being that this is on a farm, I, dropped my rifle at the next stage and then threw some alcohol on this bitch and then threw some Bactine on it, because I wanted to make sure I washed this thing out good, because between the lead and all the gunpowder and shit, I was shooting corrosive today, so, that Tele-Impac's fucking garbage ammo. It's also on a farm, and there's lots of fecal matter around. So I had to go make sure I really got this thing, washed out. While I was doing that, my squad went on to the next stage, and I ended up making it up, after they were done, because luckily we had to wait for a squad. So anyhow, why it was a revelation about gear, I probably just should have stepped down wider or something like that, but I've gotten so used to a lot of my gear, and I wasn't wearing some of my normal gear today, and I feel like it was a big mistake. And part of that, today I was wearing my Altamas. Now, I think shoes are an extremely underrated part of gear that people don't really talk about a whole lot. And these things have served me well. You know, if it's a match that I don't really have to worry too much about my footing, if it's, you know, something like, just straight dirt and not much gravel, not many casings on the ground. Yeah, this is a great shoe for that. Fortunately, my tread's a bit worn out, but you know, these things are pretty good for hiking. They're good for a lot of things. They're really good for a lot of things, but I almost feel like there's a tier system when it comes to, the efficacy of shoes and or boots when you're doing matches. And these Ultamas, you know, as great as they are, I'd almost put them at the bottom of the tier. Probably next to something like regular old sneakers, because, you know, they don't offer a ton of grip. The treads on them aren't incredibly deep. They're not incredibly thick, but they are more than a normal, like basketball shoe or something like that. Now, going up that tier, I personally, I would start looking at something like the Adidas Terex. Those are absolutely fantastic shoes. They got a nice aggressive tread on them. They're extremely comfortable. And you get to stick with Adidas. Can't really say much more than that. I mean, they are very durable, so, you get Adidas quality with a hiking boot. So I think it's pretty cool. You can get them in Gore-Tex. They're tough shoes. But, for someone like me, the tread isn't quite aggressive enough. There are Adidas that have very aggressive tread, but they're very, very, very expensive. So I try to think of price per performance as well. Now, kind of moving up that tier list, in my opinion, it's either going to be one or the other for people on this one or two. And this is just kind of like my personal thing, but I think next step up, Salomon's. I've definitely tried on Salomon's, and they're absolutely fantastic shoes. I mean, right now they're using them all over Ukraine. They're good damn shoes, man. They got a pretty aggressive tread. They are very comfortable. Kind of the same thing as the Adidas Terex, but just more aggressive. Very, very aggressive tread, and I like that quite a bit. Now, here's why they aren't my number one. So since, I want to say, well, the first Lethal Weapons, actually, since the, the match I did before that, local match I did before that, so I just say since the first Lethal Weapons, I switched over to football cleats. Now, there are people that wear cleats. It is not uncommon, but you don't see them that much. Now, I have a problem where, I know that I'm pretty fast. My legs are extremely fast. I can run fast. That's just a thing. And sometimes I need a little more grip than something like a Salomon will offer me. So I use the metal studded cleats. They're extremely durable, obviously comfortable. People play football in them all day. People play soccer in them all day. Honestly, I have a couple different sets of cleats, and I'm not sure which one's for which, but they're very aggressive, and I like it. I mean, it's the type that'll, crack and scrape up concrete. It's cool shit. And I need something like that because it's not the first time I've done this. I tend to, start running, and, if I don't, if I'm on something that's not as stable for that speed as I should be, I'm not the greatest at throttling myself. I tend to go full aggression when I'm running, and I think that's a great way to go. And I obviously just have to train myself to stop fucking tripping. This is not the first time I've gotten DQ'd over slipping. So that's what prompted me to just think about cleats. Like a lot of people when I was younger played baseball. Obviously, I wore a lot of cleats then, but they weren't the baseball ones for me. They weren't quite aggressive enough for what we do and the different types of terrain, because we're going through gravel. As I said, this particular range at Texas Kalashnikov, there is just casings everywhere. It really does need to be raked and magneted. It's pretty gnarly, honestly. I don't shoot in any other ranges that have that bad of a brass problem. It's not the worst range I've ever been to. It's a really good range, actually. Probably the shittiest quality range I've ever been to would probably be like Pro Gun Vegas. You know, the shit is like walking on the fucking moon. There's so many, it's not even just gravel, they're straight rocks, man. So as far as like a, shooting competition type of place, I mean, it'd be cool if there's stages with all that. That's fine. But dude, it's everywhere. So if you have a stage where you got to crawl or something, it's like, shit, you better not, put your elbow down on a big old rock, bring some pads, Every time I've been to Pro Gun Vegas, that's what I do. That is a piece of shit range, honestly. And, it's extremely windy there too. So that kind of leads me into some other gear that I think, it's not ridiculous to have. And, honestly, it's not something that I think is just a cool guy thing. Honestly, having a neck gaiter or a balaclava in your kit, not a bad idea. You shoot in the sun all day long, it keeps the sun off your neck, and yeah, sure, you look like Mr. Cool Guy. And not everybody has glasses that don't fog up very much. You can get plenty of glasses that do that. Pro tip, gasketed glasses, that stick onto your face there, with a little foam gasket around it. That stops all the fogging. Anti-fog juice, it only works so well. Combo of the two, every glasses I have like that, I've never had any fogging. So you can still keep it over your nose if you like, and keep your nose protected from the sun. But I've also had that in the opposite, when it's extremely cold. Having a balaclava, I mean, Kalashnikon is notoriously cold. The first time I showed up there, it was 0 degrees. So, having a straight up ski mask, that was handy. So, I don't think a face covering of some sort for the applicable environment is a bad idea. Plus, you can keep all the lead off your face and shit, you should still go wash your face when you're done shooting, I think, but, yeah, it at least decreases a lot of that, so, and plus you're wearing your eyes anyway. And, yeah, some people don't like them having the electronic hearing protection over, but personally, I wear earplugs, so, I don't really give a crap about that. But they're fine. They're fine. Honestly, if you're wearing electronic hearing protection, I think you should double up, because those things aren't that great. I've broken multiple pairs of walkers. They're not that great, and the Peltors, they're not, the ones that are under $1,000 or ones under $100, they are actually the same as the walkers. There's just like one internal difference with the like the baffling, that's it. So you could take yourself some silicone, or something like that, open up your walkers and do the same thing. You won't have any noticeable real difference, because there's not a huge audible difference between walkers and Peltors. There is, but not a huge one. And the only difference is insulation. So, they are the same circuit board. You can pop them open side by side and look at that and see, oh, yeah, okay, these are the same. They're not the same as some $400, $500, $600 pair of 3M Peltors. So, choosing your shoes appropriately, getting some kind of face covering, I don't think those are bad ideas. Now, everybody talks about, whether they wear gloves or not. I do see that talk quite a bit, surprisingly, out of the more experienced shooters. Some do, some don't. Personally, I do. I like to play instruments and stuff, so, I try to protect these lady fingers. And I got a couple different favorites that I could give a tip, but gloves are kind of a personal thing. So, this might not work for you, but I tend to like Ironclad. Those are my favorite gloves. And I also like the 10-pack of orange gloves from Home Depot. They work really well. They're not too stiff. They offer, obviously, all the grip you need because they're just fully rubberized. I think that's an awesome glove too, and they're cheap, because Ironclads, in my opinion, are fucking expensive for what they are. It's just some piece of crap Chinese glove. So, paying $15, $20 for that thing, it kind of sucks. But hey, whatever, it's cheaper than the, comparable mechanics gloves. And honestly, I just way prefer ironclads. So, shoes, some kind of face covering, gloves. I think they're three things that are kind of underrated to look at. That, I mean, yeah, they do aid you in your performance. I mean, it's just a fact. You can reload a lot faster when you don't feel the pain, from reloading. So, yeah, you can get calloused up and all that, but you can go a lot more aggressive with a glove. And I think more aggression is better, in my opinion. You should reload aggressively. You should be shooting aggressively. I mean, it's, that slow is fast thing. I'm not a huge believer in that. I guess it's one way. But personally, I think people need to work on their movement, be as aggressive as possible up front, and then work on cleaning it up. That's my way. I mean, that's just my way. So, there might be better ways that are much more proven, but that's always worked for me. When training a new drill, just going into it full bore and figuring out the movement first, I personally tend to go towards that. It's sure you can walk and shoot and get all your A zones and all that if you really want to, but I mean, the only thing that's going to speed you up is if you speed up. So, I mean, your shooting can be fixed. That's why you train. So that's why I think something like shoes, gloves, if it's, cold or stupid hot, yeah, some neck gaiter or balaclava, fantastic things to have. Because, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of talk about gear with shooting competitions and all that stuff. And, a lot of it's not even that important, the gear, whether you want to carry a belt or not, or a chest rig, everybody knows I'm a Davernoff guy. I don't use belts very much at all. Honestly, if I want to reload from down there, I'll just throw it in my pocket because, I mean, as referenced in the last video, I'm not a big believer in that 1 second's going to save you thing. And, it's not, I'm not talking about a force situation or anything like that. It's just that if that 1 second is coming down to if your reload is what's going to fuck your time up so bad, then I think you need to work on your reloads a little bit. Because even though my times, I admitted, were dog shit today for various reasons, and most of it being me, at least my reloads were on point. So if I ran out of ammo, that didn't stop me, So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Train aggressively, get the gear that allows you to train aggressively, and I think it's just an overall more enjoyable experience because we're playing a game of time. So getting a raw time, yeah, you can get a real good raw time, and man, I promise you can clean it up. I promise you can clean it up. You just got to go shooting. It's my biggest problem with this match today is I haven't been shooting. It's been a couple months since I've practiced. It's been a couple months since I've done a match. The last match I did was a Texas Kalashnikov, but it was literally the day after Lethal Weapons. So, that was a while ago. And, these are perishable skills, Yeah, you might retain quite a bit, but you're never going to retain 100% if you're not shooting all the time. And that's it's not something everybody has the luxury to do. I completely understand that. But you should be shooting as much as you possibly can to be as proficient as you can with your weapon. Because my other big thing is I'm a big proponent of dry fire. So, even just slipping on your Solomons or your cleats or whatever, just to be in the, same way that you're shooting the match and sitting there and do a dry fire in your room or something and kick the mags on the bed, go do it in your living room and kick them into the couch or whatever so you can just grab them back. I think that's a great way to speed yourself up, increase your weapons handling, and, big proponent of it. But the problem is I have not been doing dry fire lately. I've been doing gunsmithing. So, my dry fire basically is when I'm done with a gun, I'll, do a little function check for, 4 or 5 minutes or something and do a little dry fire with it or something. But, that's a lot of bolt actions. It's a lot of shotguns. I mean, honestly, one of my favorites to do it in the shop with is our shop SKS Paratrooper, which we will be having an upcoming episode on because I'm in the middle of restoring that guy. So as soon as I get the last couple pieces to fully restore it and clap that bayonet back on, then yeah, we'll have a SKS episode for the first time on this channel, and there ain't gonna be no stripper clips in it. So yeah, we'll have to get a traditional SKS maybe to hit up, side by side so you can see both or something like that. So a little preview for you. And honestly, I just wanted to talk about like a little bit of the ancillary gear that a lot of people don't really talk about much today. And okay, chest rig guys, some people are belt people, some people are both people. Like I said, I mean, if I'm going onto a stage and I need to reload from the waist or something, or if I just don't want to carry the Davrinoff rig full of mags, I'll just throw a mag in my pocket. I'm fine with that. There's no discernible difference for me at this point, reloading from my pocket from reloading from a mag pouch. If I'm doing a big match or something like that, of course, if I don't want to carry a chest rig, I'm going to put a mag pouch on because, if you take off running or something and you got to sprint full speed, yeah, that mag is going to come out your back pocket for sure. I mean, unless you're wearing some real nut huggers, that thing is going to come flying out, and you ain't going to have no mag unless you stuffed one down in your long pocket there, which, is a pain in the ass to get out. I've done that for an emergency mag and had to dig it out, and it's like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, but that's where you start costing yourself time, because that's like pulling that mag out. It's longer than your entire reload. So, yeah, choose applicable gear. If you have to go running, then, put a mag pouch on. If not, give a pocket reload a try. I say give a pocket reload a try. If it's a match where you're just trotting and everything like that, give it a try, man. It feels very casual. It's nice, some, like the last video I was talking about, some people like to shoot like shit is hitting the fan, let's get real. Are you going to be walking around with a freaking chest rig all day long and your freaking mag pouches around your waist? Chances are a lot of people are throwing mags in their pockets just real quick. So try it if that's your flavor of practicality. I don't know if that's really in the vein of practical shooting, but, I don't know. What the fuck is practical shooting? Usually people that are into practical shooting are pretty boring people, like is when they say they're into practical shooting, it's like, what, like IDPA? Like, man, boring, So I tend not to use that term very much because I don't do any types of matches like that. I specifically do action shooting matches, which would be stuff like 3-gun or, general time plus matches are like that, 3-gun, a lot of 2-guns like that. Most carbine matches are action shooting matches. Basically it's, and I should say I shoot a lot of outlaw matches, which basically means it's, just kind of 2 on paper and roll with it with no zoned scoring. Sometimes these are not even on practice score. I don't think there's any real hard definition of outlaw matches, but yeah, basically you're gonna be doing 2 on paper and keep running. It's not exactly a zoned, highly focused match. It's just run and blast. They're a lot of fun, and I do like zoned shots, when it comes to like USPSA type matches and stuff like that, I do like zoned shots. It's just the primary matches around me and the ones that I like to do around here are, well, generally action shooting matches. So I'm trying to think of any other gear that's like underappreciated or under talked about, because I gotta be honest with you, glasses are a very personal thing and it's hard to give any recommendations on those. If you're curious which ones I personally use, I use 2 different brands pretty exclusively, and it just depends how I'm feeling for the day. If I feel like wearing my yellows, I like Heat Waves. I like Heat Waves quite a bit. There are other good brands, the Hunter's Gold stuff, really, really good too. That's really good stuff. But, if I don't feel like having the yellow, or I just don't need it or something like that, or, it's not too long range of a match, my vision's not really too detrimental and I can see everything, I know I'm just going to blaze that stage, There's a brand called Magid. Magid, like magic almost. Magid, Magid. I really like those glasses. I mean, they look like just regular black framed glasses. And I mean, they come with the side things too. If you want to keep those on, I just slip them out and I'm good to go. They're just regular old glasses. And a lot of people don't discern them from my regular glasses most of the time. So I tend to like those, but glasses are a very personal thing. Try out a few different ones, I mean, sunglasses, fine. Yeah, sure. Honestly, you should be wearing some Z87s because, yeah, I've had, lenses chip from Spall. So, I mean, I'm not going to say I've had anything crack, but have heard of it. Absolutely have heard of it. Also, I mean, working in machine shops. Yeah, absolutely. You can break them. So that's a different, environment, but still, you get impact into those things. If you don't have safety glasses, and you're just increasing your risk of getting something in your eye. The Z87 stuff does work very well. Of course, it's not 100%, but it works very, very well. I mean, some people have even shot Z87 glasses and the bullet just dinks right off them, and you see the bullet mark and everything, but they're not cracked. I'm not saying that's every single one of them or anything like that, but that has happened. It's kind of crazy. So, point to today's video is really just pay attention to your gear and make it applicable for what you are doing, and take in your mistakes, learn those lessons, and adjust your skill and gear appropriately. Like I said, I should have been wearing my cleats today because I know I need cleats. I need them. It's like I am a bad runner with stability. I am not great at throttling myself. I go full on every time, and I have a problem not doing that. I just got quick little skinny guy legs. It's how I am. As our match director, Jim from Texas Kalashnikov, likes to say, he calls me the spider monkey. So, I mean, it's just, it's just how I am. My raws might be fast, but dude, yeah, if I'm not on point and getting all my targets, then I'm not getting any kind of score. And especially if I do the thing that I've done multiple times, as I have admitted, of just eating shit. The score is done. Your whole match is pretty much done at that point, because you got to get up and here we go. All right, and in the case of today, that stung like a motherfucker too. So I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, ouch, 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 ouch. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Probably got poop in it. Anyway, I didn't want to make this too complicated of a video. I wanted to make it more of a thing of just, like encourage you all to think. Just think. And don't be afraid to try new things. If you don't like dude, I hear so many people say, I don't like this or that, and they've never even tried it. Try it. I never would have thought that, I would never would have thought in my life that I would have been, especially coming from like pulling it from the belt and being real fast and, I mean, always clocking those milliseconds and everything, and even espousing on this channel that, milliseconds are everything, because in a way they are, yeah, that's the fastest way to do it, just boom, it's real damn fast. Probably on average, though, if you train with it, the reason I switched to mostly using chest rigs is because you can do it faster with a chest rig. My trick to it is ammo up. You don't have to worry about dirt and mud and artillery or something like that getting your shit dirty. And I mean, unless you have some stage where you gotta crawl through the mud or something like that, believe me, having ammo up is not a big deal, because you can just bloop, bloop. And to me, that's the quickest way. To me, that is the quickest way. So, I've been able to beat my belt times with that, but, maybe by a few milliseconds. That's it. It's not that much quicker. But, if we do want to go down that road of milliseconds counting, and you really want to save every single millisecond, yeah, just think about your freaking gear, man, and make it applicable for what you're doing. Because, I mean, it's not just going to make up time for you and, keep you on the clock. It'll save you from mistakes like I made today of falling straight on my damn face.